So, you're thinking about concealed carrying a gun. Great. Now let's talk about the stuff nobody tells you. The gear, the laws, techniques, and real life pros and cons. This video isn't just about stuffing a pistol in your waistband and calling it a day. This is your crash course on smart, legal, and confident concealed carry. So first things first, all firearms used in this video are cleared and safe for demonstration. Nothing shown in this video is sponsored. I purchased all items with my own money. Any recommendations, any recommended items and resources will be in the description. Gun safety rules. Let's quickly review the 4 rules of firearm safety. There are more than 4, but these are the basics. Number 1, treat every gun as if it's loaded. Number 2, never point the gun at anything you don't want to kill or destroy. Rule number 3, finger off the trigger until you're ready to fire. And number 4, know your target and what's beyond it. Whether you're brand new or just want to make sure you're doing it right, stay with me, this is going to be a ride. While some places don't require taking a concealed carry class due to constitutional carry, I highly recommend getting some upfront professional in-person instruction if possible. Make sure you follow the carry and gun laws in your area. So, what is concealed carry? Concealed carry means carrying a firearm in public in a way that's not visible to others, as opposed to open carry where the firearm is clearly visible. Sounds simple, but it comes with serious responsibility. You're carrying the power to protect, and with that comes the duty to know what you're doing. Concealed means not visible to the public, meaning no one will see it by accident. It requires training and knowledge. Simply owning a firearm doesn't mean you will be safe and proficient. And the legal varies by state. Know your state laws. Many concealed carry classes cover important local laws. Legal considerations. Now, this is not legal advice, but here's what you need to know. Concealed carry laws change by state and sometimes even by county. There can also be laws and regulations within your HOA or apartment community. There are many laws to consider, but here's a quick breakdown. Permits. Some states require one. Some are constitutional carry, meaning no permit. Reciprocity. A permit from state A might not be valid in state B. There are restricted areas. Schools, government buildings, some private businesses. Like here locally, you can't carry into any business that makes 50% or more of its income from alcohol, so no bars. Always check posted signs. Duty to inform. Some states require you to tell law enforcement you're carrying immediately. From experience, if you ever get pulled over, hand them your concealed carry permit first, followed by your driver's license. I just keep my carry permit on top so I don't forget. Before you carry, check your local and state laws, then double check, then maybe check again. There are laws around concealed carry, but also know the laws about transporting firearms and ammo for the places you will be traveling. Some states allow a loaded weapon to be transported. Others require the ammo and firearm be separate with the gun in a case. And here's a touchy topic, gun choice for concealed carry. Let's talk about your sidearm. Size matters, and so does reliability. For many, budget is also a big consideration. Now, disclaimer, I highly recommend renting a few different guns of interest at a range and try them out before purchasing one based on how awesome it looks. It's typically $30 or less to rent a handgun, and you will save hating yourself from buying something you'll despise later on. There are some proven choices that have been around long enough to be reliable and affordable. The current market is very competitive. And now here are some common recommendations. In the micro-compact category, more concealable but less shootable, you have the Sig Sauer P365 and the Springfield Hellcat. There's also the LC9, but I don't recommend it because it has a horrible trigger. It's tiny but packs a punch. Then there's the compact category, still concealable but with better shootability. This includes the Glock 19, P365X Macro, and the CZ P10C. And then we have the full-size, less concealable, best shooting, but require more attention to clothing and printing. These include things like the Glock 47, Walther PDP, Springfield Echelon, or like a 1911. And then we have what some consider the old-school revolver, still very useful, like the Ruger LCR. Simplicity and reliability in 5 rounds. Now, these are some key factors to consider. Concealability. For your clothing, situation, and body, can you actually conceal it properly? Reliability. Does it work? Is it proven? Is it past its break-in period? Many firearms will say they have a few hundred rounds to break in the gun to work reliably. I will never personally carry a gun that I haven't fired at least 300 rounds through without a malfunction. Now, some guns will malfunction due to tolerances during the first 100 or so rounds, and once you get past that, then they become more reliable. Shootability. Can you hit your target? The smaller the firearm, the more practice you will need to be accurate. And caliber. 9mm is the perfect balance between effectiveness, availability, cost, and rounds per magazine. I would highly recommend going with 9mm, but there are other options as well. 22 and 380 are underpowered. 45 is overkill and holds less rounds per magazine than 9mm. Holster choice. Quick public service announcement. Do not just put your gun loosely in your bag, purse, pocket, or vehicle. Get a proper holster or retention device, please. Your holster is just as important as your gun. A bad holster can lead to accidental discharges, printing, or slow draws. Printing is when others can see parts of your gun through your clothing. They can also be extremely uncomfortable. Studies show if it's not comfortable, then you most likely won't carry. The other tip for an effective and comfortable concealed carry setup is a quality gun belt. They are designed to be flexible around your waist, but to keep rigid vertically to keep the holster in place. And now a quick concealed carry fail story, yes, mine. I was outside my residence and a neighbor's badly behaving dog that wasn't leashed came running at me full speed from about 25 yards away, baring teeth and barking aggressively. It was a full-size German Shepherd. It lunged at me and I removed the backpack I was wearing and put it between us. It kept lunging and attacking. After a few seconds, I decided to finally pull my firearm. I made a bad choice in buying a cheap holster and also didn't use a gun belt. When I went to draw the Taurus G2C from the holster, the entire holster, unclipped, came out with the gun. So I was holding the gun with the holster still on it, and I couldn't even access the trigger. Luckily, the owner was able to get control of the dog, but if he hadn't, I may not be here telling you this story. Your holster, belt, and firearm choices could mean life or death. Now, these are the golden holster rules. It must cover the trigger guard. This avoids accidental trigger manipulation and discharges. It must retain the gun securely. This makes sure it won't fall out during activity. It must be comfortable enough for daily use. A good one makes you forget it's on. It must be high quality. Don't skimp in this area. And Kydex tends to secure firearms better than leather and other types of holsters. These are some popular styles. You have the IWB, or inside the waistband. This is the most common, and it conceals well. It includes belly bands and also Filster Enigma style type holsters. Then you have appendix carry, or AIWB. This is for fast draw, but it's not for everyone. Then there's OWB, outside the waistband, more comfortable, but harder to conceal. And then of course you have off-body, like a bag or a purse. This should only be used if you train a lot with it. It's not generally recommended to carry off-body. Many modern holsters like the Alien Gear Photon can be adjusted. The cant, height, and even a claw can be customized for your purposes. A claw helps to assist in getting the grip closer to your body for less printing. Concealment techniques. This is the art of the conceal. Let's make sure you don't look like the guy or girl with the gun and also avoid going overboard tactical. Concealment tips. Dress around the gun. Looser shirts, jackets, and patterns help hide the printing. Avoid constantly adjusting or checking your gun. The proper holster helps avoid this. Practice drawing with what you'll actually be wearing on a regular basis. It's the grip of the firearm and not usually the muzzle that print. That's why CCW firearms tend to have short, stubby grips, making printing less likely. There are multiple carry positions, the appendix, 3, 6, and 9 o'clock, as well as ankle, shoulder, and even bras. Whichever method and holster you choose, ask yourself the following questions. Can I draw quickly and safely without endangering myself or someone near me? Is my gun defendable in a hand-to-hand scenario? Is my gun concealable? Are my holster and belt good quality? Could I do it better if I carried differently? Yes, you might need to up your fashion game a bit, but using proper concealment techniques and accessories will make you safer, more efficient, and more comfortable. Training and mindset. You are not just a gun carrier, you're a protector now. That means training. The number one mistake most gun owners make is that they don't train. They buy their gun and a holster and ammo, then they hope someday, if they need to use it, that they'll know exactly what to do and how to do it. You can't train like Homer Simpson and expect to perform like John Wick. Many instructors recommend dry fire weekly and live fire monthly at a minimum. What to practice? Drawing from concealment, including one-handed draw and cross-body draw. Dry fire drills with tools like the dry fire mag, Mantis systems, and the laser bullets. Situational awareness. Training your mind to pay attention to who and what is around you. And then, of course, de-escalation, which is usually in class-type environments. Now, this is definitely a mindset shift. You want to avoid conflict. Just because you have a gun doesn't mean you should create situations in which to use it. Be aware, not paranoid. And only draw if it's truly life or death. Sometimes that's hard to know. And some states and counties have laws against brandishing a firearm. Pros and cons of concealed carry. Pros, self-defense capability. If a situation arises, you may be able to better protect yourself and others around you. peace of mind. Know that if something happens, you at least have an option to assist you, especially against larger and more aggressive people. And it's also an excuse to be active and train. And now the cons. Legal liability. Even if you're in the right, there can still be civil and other legal issues. Responsibility and stress. Just having a firearm can increase your overall stress levels, balancing safety, awareness, training, and legal issues. Not everywhere is carry friendly. You may need to stash the firearm in a locked box in your vehicle or leave it home, depending on where you go. You may also go somewhere and not find out until you're there that they don't allow carry, and then you have to take it back to your vehicle or home. And then you have the cost of the gun, ammo, training tools, holster, gun belt, and clothing. This isn't a superhero cape, it's a tool, and you better know how and when to use it. Mistakes to avoid. Now, these are the top concealed carry mistakes. Not practicing enough with carry firearm. I have seen many people train like crazy with their favorite full-size Gucci handguns, only to leave their everyday carry covered in dust and pocket lint. You must train with what you will carry. Carrying without a round chambered. Unless you're very well trained to rack the slide when you're drawing, you most likely won't remember to do it during an incident. And along the same lines, carrying with the safety on. Unless you train with it regularly, it is very likely and has been seen in case studies that people do not remember to switch off the safety in a high-stress situation. Touching or adjusting your gun in public. I was guilty of this, especially when I first started. Poor holster or carry accessory choices. No practice drawing from concealment. Not training with induced stress, such as using a timer or during martial arts training. And of course, only dry firing and never doing live fire. You won't be used to the force and sound of live rounds in a high-stress incident, and that can be detrimental to your focus and your performance. If you're going to carry like a pro. Anything less is dangerous. Concealed carry tips. Now, this section may not be as flashy and as exciting as others, but it is very important and common things that people often learn about concealed carry the hard way. I'm trying to save you from that. Retention and gun grabs. Weapon retention skills. Most people forget this critical component. What if someone tries to take your gun? Train for weapon retention, especially if you carry outside the waistband or appendix. Your gun is potentially accessible to others in close quarters. Some CCW classes or martial arts schools like Krav Maga offer specific retention drills. There are different holsters with different levels of retention, starting with level 1 being the most common for concealed carry, and going all the way up to level 3 or 4, which is utilized by police officers and the military. Storing your carry gun at home or in your car. When you can't carry, like a school zone, post office, or a bar, where does your gun go? You can use a lockable car safe or lockbox. Some laws require it. A rapid access gun safe at home. It secures your firearms while still keeping fast access. And also, firearms do get stolen from lockboxes, glove boxes, and consoles of vehicles. That's always a risk. And quick tip, don't advertise gun ownership with bumper stickers. Many concealed carriers never consider how or when to disclose carry status. You don't have to tell people you carry. In fact, you usually shouldn't. If you live with others, make sure they understand firearm safety, especially kids. If you're dating or with close friends, disclosure might depend on context. And then, of course, medical training plus a tourniquet. If you are prepared to take a life to save others, be prepared to save one too. I highly recommend professional instruction in this area. Carry a tourniquet like a CAT or SOFT and know how to use it. Consider taking a basic trauma or stop the bleed course. You are more likely to use medical gear than a firearm in a real emergency. Long-term carry tips and maintenance. So what happens after a few months or years of carry? Well, you have to clean your EDC gun and holster often. Pocket lint and sweat are real enemies. This requires a proper firearm cleaning kit and learning how to care for your particular gun. Reassess your setup as your body, lifestyle, and clothing evolve. And very importantly, ammo rotation tip. Defensive rounds should be rotated every 6 months to a year. After that time period is passed, just use those rounds for target practice and get some fresh defensive rounds put in place. The main reason is because exposure to oxygen, moisture, and temperature changes can degrade the ammo and even make it malfunction. Post-incident legal protocol. What do you do after you actually draw or fire? Now, quick disclaimer, this is not legal advice. Don't give a statement to police immediately. Invoke your right to counsel. Say something like, I was in fear for my life. I'll cooperate fully with my attorney present. A concealed carry or CCW insurance plan can help, but know what it does and doesn't cover. In many cases, it may be best to request to go to the hospital, as you will likely be in a very heightened state, including your blood pressure, which can skyrocket to dangerous levels in some individuals. Switching carry guns or positions. Be careful when switching guns or carry positions frequently. Changing draw angles, safeties, grip sizes, and firearms too often creates more room for error. Practice any change thoroughly before relying on it daily. Relying on your firearm alone to keep you safe is definitely an issue. A firearm is a force multiplier, but you still need to have situational awareness. Always maintain a base level of physical fitness within your abilities. And it's also good to train force on force and hand-to-hand combat if you are able. For those of you that have been carrying for a while now, some of you 40 plus years, what other tips can you think of for those new to concealed carry? Leave it in the comments below. Leave it in the comments. I hate when people point like that. Now this is the ultimate checklist to get started, your concealed carry starter pack. Legal permit, if needed, and knowing the gun laws in your area. Reliable firearm, that means broken in and proven. A never fired brand new gun is not reliable. High quality holster, purpose-made belt, quality ammo, usually defensive rounds and usually hollow point. Self-defense insurance, things like US CCA, CCW Safe, and similar. It can add peace of mind for some people. And the training plan, including regularly scheduled dry fire sessions and intermittent live fire sessions. This should also include becoming well-versed in firearm safety. And then, of course, situational awareness mindset. You don't just wake up a responsible carrier, you build into it. This list, consider it your launch pad. Concealed carry isn't about fear, it's about preparedness. It's not just about a gun, it's about protecting what matters, you, your family, and your community. So be smart, be safe, be ready. And remember, carrying is a right, but doing it well, that's a responsibility. Don't forget to like and subscribe and get started on your dry fire journey by watching How to Dry Fire Like a Pro somewhere up here, and I'll see you on the next one.